where is music today? And what's going on in the music world today, right? That's what we're going to discover on this episode of the PopzCast. Now, I had to do some research on this one, so it's been a few weeks since I've had one up, and we've been very busy. But I want to thank y'all for joining us. We appreciate it very much. I'm Pops. For those that are new with us, welcome to the channel. We are glad to have you, glad to know you. Please feel free if there's something you want us to look at on the PopzCast. We will look at anything music related, entertainment related on the PopzCast here. Okay, so let me know if there's something you want us to look at. But today, we're going to look at where music is and what has come down the line over the past several years in music. Okay? Let me get a drink and let's get into this because I did some research on some numbers too. So, as of, and I'm talking about mainly the American music market, right? But there's a lot of music mixed into that, so stay tuned. Okay? As of July 1st, 2012, right? And we're just going that far back right now because we're talking about specific kinds of music here. But as of July 1st, 2012, which was halfway through the year, the American music market was 71% of what was being sold on shelves and in, streaming services and what have you. MTV, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What used to be MTV anyway. Anyway, July 1st, 71% of the market was here in America, right? Between pop and country and metal and rock and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay? So what happened? Well, July 15th, fellow by the name of Psy released a song called Gangnam Style. And it went everywhere. YouTube, streaming services, shelves. It went everywhere. Everybody knew that song. And I mean everybody knew that. If you didn't hear that song, you were deaf. You know what I mean? Because it was everywhere. Viral wasn't even the word for it. It was the first video to ever hit 1 billion views on YouTube. Okay? And I think that really started the shift, right? Now, you could go all the way back to the Beatles, coming here in, the 1960s and say, well, that really started the trend of, different types of music infusing into the American market. Well, yeah, you could say that. There is an argument for that, right? Because you had the, what they called the British invasion here and the second British invasion and all that, all that kind of stuff. But, we're talking about 2012 to now. Now, what happened after that? Well, K-pop really took a foothold after that, right? Psy he opened the door and went, okay, let's see what's happening, Well, then people started stepping through that door. And it came fast. BTS, Blackpink, Twice, B2B, ATs. You know what I mean? You can go right up the line. Stray Kids, ITZY, go right up the line all the way through the new generation with Baby Monster and, all of these groups, Kiss of Life, etc. That door is not only wide open now, but there ain't no door there anymore. It's been just blasted open. Okay? Which brings us to today. Right? Like I said, 71% of the music was in this market here where I am in July of 2012. Right now, 28% of the music comes from here in the States. Now, as I said, Psy opened that door and people started coming through it, and now that door's been kicked completely off the hinges. There ain't no door there anymore. Matter of fact, there's a big hole in the wall. What used to be that door, where that door used to be. Because they've just blasted right through it. And I personally love it, right? I didn't hear my first K-pop song until that song, but I didn't really think much about it. I mean, it was catchy, right? It was catchy. It was, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. And I liked it. I liked the comedy in it and the, kind of cheeky, fun of the song, right? But, I didn't really pay any attention other than that, right? Until a few years ago when we started the channel here. Well, not this channel, but the Pops Reacts channel. And then I really took notice because I got sent, Dreamcatcher and Blackpink and Stray Kids and, you know what I mean? BTS and right up the line. And it's like, wow. And now I barely listen to any American music anymore, personally. Which brings us to the next point. Somebody said, well, K-pop has its time and it's its fad. But American music will come back. Will it? Will it really? This is a 12-year fad is a pretty long one to me, And now we've got J-Rock, J-Metal. You've got the European bands coming in, Sabaton, Nightwish. Not coming in, they've been here for a while, but you know what I'm saying. So you've got the rock world, the Warning out of Mexico. You got the rock world involved now. You got the pop world involved now. The only one I see that isn't really involved right now is the country world, but there is some country mixings, no pun intended, with groups like NMix, mixing some country sound in there, here and there. So, yeah, there's all kinds of music from all over the world, and it ain't from here. So what needs to be done? Well, here's the thing. If you look at reaction channels, right? The music reaction channels, not full reaction channels where they're doing, politics and this, that, and the other, but like we do here in music, right? If you look at reaction channels, 89% of the music reaction channels right now on YouTube have no less than 10 K-pop reactions on there. So only 11% are doing stuff outside of K-pop. And most of the rock, country, opera, all these kind of vocal coaches, things like that, they're doing stuff that's from outside of here as well. Now, am I saying that American music is horrible? No, I'm not. I'm not, because we do have some great bands here like Hailstorm, Liliac, although Liliac needs some guidance right now. Not taking anything away from Papa Liliac. I'm just saying they need some professional guidance at this point to get them moving forward. But we do have some great artists here, right? Taylor Swift, Beyonce, what have you. And I think they're probably, Taylor Swift and Beyonce are probably, out of that 28% we have left, they're probably about 15 of it. Yeah, So, What happened and where does it go and how do they fix it? I think the only way they're going to fix it is they've got to quit thinking in 1980. You know what I mean? They got to start thinking in 2025. You know, one of the very bad habits, and it's been a habit for a long time in the music industry here in the States, is they hear one thing like, I don't know, let's just say, for instance, Taylor Swift, right? She breaks through with her first pop album and they go, holy crap. You know, X record company's got, I want 10 of her right now. Oh, you want 10 artists like her? No. You're not understanding me. I want 10 of her. I want 10 exact copies of her right now. You know what I mean? So we can get some stuff flowing. And that's the problem. You get 10 copies of her that ain't as good as her. And all of a sudden, you got a well of, you know, copycat artists, essentially, trying to make the same sound that the first artist was making and ain't doing it. And you got a well of crap out there that you got to dig through to find the decent music. It's been a bad habit in the industry here for many, many years. And that's across the industry. Now, I'm not talking about just pop artists or country artists. I'm talking about rap, you know, the hip-hop community. I'm talking about pop artists. I'm talking about rock. I'm talking about metal. I'm talking about, you know what I mean? All of it. Country, all of it. You know? And that's a lot of the problem. They've got to fix that. They got to start thinking in 2025 and get rid of this thought of, you know, I need 10 of that artist. Start thinking outside the box. You're not going to fix it otherwise. Right? You've got to start thinking out of the box in order to fix that. Which is one of the things that K-pop does. And I use K-pop as an example because that's probably 92 to 93% of the requests that we get on these channels are K-pop. So, or Asian music. And I love that. See, like I said, I don't want you to get me wrong. I'm loving it. I'm loving the journey of discovering even new artists now. You can see my walls back here. You know, 95% of it is K-pop. Now, we've got some J-Rock up there with like Scandal, and we've got The Warning up there, and, you know, a few others, but, you know, 90% of it is K-pop. So I'm loving it. I love the journey through K-pop. And one of the things I love is you get such diverse and different sounds from each artist, right? And each artist, when they put out a new album, they delve into different sounds and different styles, right? It's never just the same. It's not the same over and over and over again. And that's the other problem that we have here in the States, is they do a lot of that too. Oh, that sound worked great. Do that again. Well, if you write the same song 10 times, that same 10 times, you get the same result 10 times in a row. Except it gets lower and lower and lower sales-wise. Because people don't want to hear it. They want to hear different. These are just my opinions, but those numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie. We've lost, you know, I don't know, almost 50% of the market share that we had in 2012. You can't fix that unless you change. Right? So, tell me what you all think. Tell me if there's something you want us to look at, and we will get it, okay? I hope you all have an amazing day. And don't forget to join us next week. We got a lot of great stuff coming. Now, the PopzCast is usually on the Pops Reacts channel. right? If we have something real important that y'all think we need to do, we will, put it over here as well. But it's usually on that channel. And we will be starting that not next week, but the week after. Again, we'll be running it over there. Okay? I hope y'all have an amazing day, everybody. This is Old Pops. I'll see y'all later. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Smash that subscribe button. We appreciate it very much. And I'll see you later. We are out.